So let's talk about something very indisputable that I believe isn't talked about enough, especially in today's age and especially in today's situations, namely money and how it relates to your health. See, I was reading this article about some doctor who wrote who wrote this interesting piece about how more and more of his patients saw him because of financial troubles. Their health was in general good. They didn't have any illnesses or disease. They didn't have any. They didn't sustain any injuries. Their lives otherwise were in good health. When it comes to physical, I guess physical conditioning. However, because of their poor finances and because they couldn't afford to buy hardly anything, they got stressed out. And that's completely normal. Just think about it. See, I remember how it was because I know what it's like to be broke. I used to be broke. I used to be very, very broke. And I'm never going back. I used to be broke. I used to be fat. I used to be lazy. Never going back to doing any of those things or to having to live through some of those things or both of those things rather. Anyway, I remember it so well when I was broke, and if I had like only a $5 expense, let's say that something cost $5 and I needed to buy it, even that was sort of like a big deal to me. This is no joke. Today I can safely say, I can manage an unexpected $5 expense. But back then, even that was a big ask, really. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like to walk in the grocery stores and you want to buy all the stuff. You want to try out something new. You want to buy this food. You want to indulge in some candy that you see. You want to buy this. You want to buy that. All those things. And yet I couldn't because I had my boring ass shopping list and I needed to buy the cheapest of the cheap foods. And that was very late because I had power bills coming. I had heating bills coming. I had to pay for my gasoline bill, etc., etc. Oh, and what if there was something major happening? Like, I don't know, my car needing some sort of a reparation or maintenance. Maybe the washing machine breaking down. Maybe the dishwasher machine breaking down. Maybe something big breaking down, or I don't know, even the fridge. That would have been disaster. I don't know where I would have gone if that were the case. And that's not fun. That's not cool. That's not glamorous. I'm telling you, that makes you stressed out. I remember focusing a lot on sleep. And it probably helped, but it didn't help me enough. Because every time I would go to sleep, I would have I would have financial problems to think about. But when I woke up the next day, those problems would still be there. They wouldn't go away. You can't sleep on a bill that's not paid. You can't sleep on it. It doesn't work that way. So the whole point here I'm making is really that your financial situation is getting closer and closer tied to your health. Because if you have better finances, if you have more money, you can afford to pay your bills. Duh, obviously. Pay down your loans. Pay for better food. Maybe move to a better neighborhood where there's less break-ins and thugs and thievery, That's, and maybe the community is even gated. You can afford to buy a better car that probably doesn't want to break down. Because, listen, I've actually suffered through that as well. I've been driving on the highway only for the car to break down, as in the engine stopping, whilst it was moving. Meaning that I'm driving here, I need to do it this way. I'm driving in this direction. There are cars behind me. My car stops down. And the cars behind me are at risk of colliding into my car. I mean, it's dangerous. It's not fun and it's not cool. And that was because I was driving this old car broken down that was literally headed for destruction, or literally headed for the, what's the word I'm looking for? The scrap heap. Really, a car scrap heap. Anyway, the bottom line is more money actually equals more and better health. Just think about it. And one way to make more money is to learn how to make more sales through persuasion, which is why I teach in my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.